So we're going to need a kind of anthropological third Big Bang to account for all this, which of course is what Darwin was after in his Descent of Man thesis.
The Descent of Man was not about anthropology. The Descent of Man was about evolution. Darwin's hypothesis about evolution was about scientifically explaining the diversity of life. It wasn't about the anthropological history of human beings.
Now look, Darwin answered a lot of questions, but he could never answer the core question. How did evolution begin?
He doesn't have to answer how evolution began, you fucking twat. Well, it just pisses me off. He couldn't answer how it began. Evolution's a process. It doesn't matter at what point in time it began. It only matters that it's definitely happening. Darwin did not attempt to try to discern when it started, which technically would have been when life first appeared. As soon as life appeared, that's when evolution happened. But also, if you consider the other forms of evolution, evolution has always happened because evolution's a fucking process of nature. This guy I'm so glad I don't have like a fucking blood pressure monitor because I'm sure I'm off the fucking charts. I mean, I'm not the smartest motherfucker when it comes to evolution, but at least I know my ass from a hole in the ground, which is obviously not what this guy knows.
But hey, we're still not done describing the world that is all around us. A final Big Bang is going to be required to explain how a mechanistic animal brain can become a self-reflective human mind.
Well, let me blow your mind there. I forget what your name is. We're still animals. We're part of the animal kingdom. We are animals. So you're asking us to discern one animal brain from another animal brain. We can definitely tell you the differences in biology. We can tell you how they operate differently. We can tell you how our instincts are different. And evolution definitely explains how ours developed, how theirs developed, how all of this shit developed, like all this shit being life, how all of it diversified and developed in things. All right? That's already explained. You're either being purposefully dishonest or disingenuous, or you're just so woefully ignorant of the topic that it seems like you didn't even investigate it. Like, you were like, oh, does God exist? And then boom, you got hit in the fucking face with goddamn Thomas Aquinas, and you're like, well, shit, I can't think of good responses to these. I guess God exists. Woo-saw, motherfucker.
Even the lowest life forms have brains and central nervous systems.
That's a false analogy there. I mean, to call the nucleus of like a single-celled organism the brain, I feel that's not a great analogy there. A brain is a collection of cells that interact with each other in order to produce complex functions, whereas the chemistry of a single cell is much different than a brain. Characterizing it this way, I feel like is really giving off the wrong impression. I don't know, maybe some of the more microbiology-centered people in the chat can correct me, but I feel like this is just a poor analogy. I feel like this is an analogy you would use to fifth graders when you're trying to teach them like what the nucleus is and shit.
I mean, how does something like that become the mind of a Michelangelo, a Shakespeare, a Beethoven?
Let's see. How do we go from single-celled organisms to humans? Probably evolution, motherfucker. Because evolution is a fact.
Come on, animals don't do art, and they don't appreciate beauty.
Okay, I gotta be honest with y'all. I'm gonna go back a little bit here. Hold on. I so thought this was a squirrel smoking a cigarette. I mean, that's what it looked. I feel like it's like a squirrel that's just needed a break, and it's just like, motherfucker's got me in this video, and I feel like I'm about to slap a motherfucker. How do you know what in the fuck a cow is thinking? I mean, a cow could think something's beautiful. A monkey can definitely think that. A bear could think something's beautiful. You don't fucking know their lives. Yeah, and also animals can definitely do art. I'm fairly certain that I've seen like other apes do art, as well as what did you say the other day, hun? It was like elephants. Yeah, painting elephants. Like, he obviously just does not know a fucking thing about the shit that he's talking about. See, this is why both KC and I came to the conclusion that this guy is just disingenuous. He's just totally dishonest in everything that he says. And PragerU still has this video up on their channel 7 years later.
But the problem is even more basic than that. How do you account for free will and introspection, let alone man's pressing existential drive to ask why?
Okay, if I had to, shoot in the dark to explain that, I would say that it's because of our higher developed central nervous system. It's much more complex, so we are able to think complex things like, why am I here? What's the purpose? Why do I need to stroke God's nutsack in order to get rain? I feel like these questions are perfectly explainable by the fact that we have a higher functioning brain. Y'all probably couldn't hear it, but Casey thinks that it doesn't take a higher functioning brain in order to stroke God's nutsack. Oh, to talk about stroking God's nutsack.